It is a pleasure to be here in Helsinki, and I love Finland. So, yay! Okay, little clicker, there it is. Thank you. So I'm here today to speak on opportunity and to pose a few questions. What if? What if the world is changing? What if we have already moved from the industrial society model to the social model, the sharing model? What if we already have done this? What does this mean to us? What if it's more now about capacity, the ability to take on, the ability to absorb, the ability to flow, the ability to move? And what if it now is about connective tissue versus linear thinking? I was recently speaking in Ghana to a women's entrepreneur summit, and it was very clear that my perspective is analytical, industrial, idealistic-minded, my society, not necessarily me. And that in Ghana, it was creative, intuitive, soulful, and craft-focused society. There was a speaker there in Singapore. I was there the week before that. I've been around the world here the last couple of weeks, who was speaking on developed and developing. So he said that the Western world is developed. It's a done story. Ding, it's cooked. And he said the developing world is where there is movement and flow, everything I've just talked about. Now, I believe that we are now coming toward each other. Ghana needs the infrastructure we can offer. We miss the soul. In America, we miss the soul that Ghana has. We miss, through our consumption model that we have been holding up so tightly, and that is now crumbling, we miss that soulfulness and creativity. I am a developing person that lives in a developed country. So I offer to all of us that we continue to be developing people. And what I think is powerful about Finland is that you are very much developing still, and that's a power position. What if your passion is the most important thing that you own? So in America, we have houses, we have things, we have storage, we have garages. But what if the most important thing we own is our passion? What if brand management is just something we should throw out the window? And what if we move from a place of our own channel, our own expression? So what if? And what if within this paradigm that we are just making up together here now, what if small things really could make a difference? So I personally come from not great means from my background. And I'm the first woman in my lineage of females in my family to go to college. And I put myself through college, even renting a walk-in closet for $30 a month to be able to afford that college. So when I worked, one day I was at Nike, and I was working away in the trend group, and I was trying to resolve working in corporation in my mind. I had earlier been offered a job at Apple that I said no to, because I didn't want to become a corporate person. But working inside of Nike, I learned a great many things. While my friends were protesting at the gates, I was working in the trend group, and one day, a very good friend of mine, Kevin Carroll, came walking in. "Jody," he said. And he used to be a sports medicine guy for the 76ers. He is the catalyst at Nike at the time. And so he said to me, I'm working on a basketball project, and when the players make a mistake, they snap themselves with a rubber band. So I said, oh, well, by chance, I have 1,000 extra rubber bands that I have around here and you see where the story is going. I started because we had a project and it had extra rubber bands, so I started writing the word love, hope, peace on these thick gray rubber bands, handing it out to everyone. Let's up the energy at Nike. This was just my own little accidental innovator moment. And of course, Kevin took that, and ultimately it came to Live Strong. And it became the benefit bracelet. And one day, when I was no longer working at Nike, was walking down the street, and I'm like, well, what is this? Everyone's wearing my bracelet. But actually, there's no ownership in innovation. And it showed me that while I don't get credit for that, what was the really hard work there? The hard work was taking it to market. The hard work was making it meaningful. But I never will forget how I learned that business can totally be a powerful influencer in our world. But it's not business and it's not brand, it's the people inside who have that passion to step forward in the new paradigm. So I'm mentoring a young woman, she's 21, and she has this brilliant idea. She's a design student, and she has come up with the empowerment plan. She's a design student in Detroit, and here are some pictures of Detroit. And last year, she saw people in the newspaper as frozen bits of ice, blocks of ice, legs sticking out of frozen streets. And she said, this is unacceptable. While she said, I can't heal homelessness, I can help alleviate suffering. She came up with the empowerment plan. She designed a coat that you can put pads in and heating elements in. And she ended up going into homeless shelters and setting up industrial machines, teaching homeless how to make these coats. And so I'm helping her with the funding, and I'm helping her with taking it perhaps to other cities. But you have to love her that she came up with this passionate idea. So right now it's all about the passion that we have for change, because really we're just individual channels. As Martha Graham, the famous dancer, who switched it up by bringing ballet into a modern dance world, and that's a big innovative shift. She said, we're simply open channels flowing the energy of ourselves as an expression here in the world. Now, to me, that is life mission, life purpose. And it could be your elevator pitch. It doesn't have to be separate. And mine is to influence for betterment. That means anything you do, I have to look at it through that lens. So what is yours? What is your city's mission statement? What is your family's mission statement? How are they aligning? And so we open our eyes and we step forward into the world. And we're finding now, what if science could study how people work together? And what if they discovered that when we work together and we are open channels, that we have a greater consciousness? What if this happened? And what if they said, and everywhere I go, I seem to be the only woman speaking, and I don't think that's true today, and I'm seeing more and more a change. So what if they said that women are very important to have in the innovative process because they are naturally about holding capacity, nurturance, and what I feel from my childhood, which is empathy for the human condition. And what I know is what we are teaching all of us inside of companies and in our lives, which is humanity, is really about innovation. Empathy and innovation are the same thing, caring about what a human needs and serving that purpose versus over-producing things we don't need. And so it's not a what if, it actually happened. This is truly a recent article in Journal on Science. MIT, Carnegie Mellon, and Union College did this research. But what I would like to say is, let's replace the word woman with just people. With everyone needs to show up to the table today for us to get done what needs to be done. I want to replace woman because simply it's just balance with the words you, your names. So what if, and I have 3 things I'd love to address. One is the viral of cynicism. And what if cynicism was just a phase or a fear that we moved through before we got on to other things? And meet cynic. Who's cynic? He is the original philosopher, the Greek ancient school of the Cynics. And what did the Cynics believe? They believed, live simply in agreement with nature. The pursuit of wealth does not bring happiness. The world belongs to everyone, and suffering is caused by false judgments of what is truly valuable. So, do cynics align with this definition today? Has it been somewhat thwarted? Cynicism is an important thing. So how can we come back to the historical reference of cynicism? And greenwashing. How many people have heard the term greenwashing? What if, as humans, we said we would do something before we did it, because that forces us to kind of do it? I have experienced this. I've said things, I'm going to do that, and I've done it, because everyone's waiting for me to do it. I've also said things and not done it. And this is what we're experiencing in the world. And what I am also seeing is that I trust that we have a high BS meter these days. And that we know when someone's saying it and then doing it versus saying it and not doing it. I want to say we are empowered today and we are smart and we're amplified through the media. And I'd also like to invite in that there's forgiveness for those that don't do what they say when they finally do it. And that's how we move forward. So I want to tell you, I get the greenwashing and the cynic thing 1,000 times when I travel the world and speak. So, what? Let's get rid of what if. And let's say, what is going on now? So there's a change generation that's happening, and we see this through the Fast Company blog. We see this through the Fast Company, that there is a generation coming up with a new mind. And I believe that. And my whole premise is, let's hold the believing eyes for them. Not that they solve all the problems we created. No. That we can allow them to come in and teach us versus us teaching them. And I'm an elder. So I invite youth into my life to teach me, because there is a teaching there. We raise them well. They are not entitled, they're empowered. So what? So what? Getting rid of the what if, onto the what. What are we going to do? The change generation is not an age-based thing. We are all a part of the change generation. And that's the invitation today. What? What are you going to do? And that is opportunity. Thank you.